Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, so we've been getting dissed over here, the visionaries. I want y'all to look at two videos real quick. This one.
Let me tell you the difference between a lawyer and a non-lawyer. Non-lawyers think the truth is what they know. Hey, I know this. This is the truth. I could see it. You know what lawyers think the truth is? It's what you could prove in a court of law. When a Fed writes an affidavit saying witnesses told him this, this, and this, and so the defendant is guilty of a crime, that does not make the defendant guilty of a crime. When those witnesses take the stand and give sworn testimony under oath with the defendant in the box and 12 jurors on the side, now you have evidence, you have sworn testimony. We are far from that. Look, I'm not saying this case is getting beat, this case is getting won, this case is this case is that. What I'm saying is you have to look at what the government is telling you and look at what the government is showing you. And then you have to start playing the game. That's all. The idea that there's a video of Pooh Shiesty holding a gun and pointing it at Gucci Mane and saying, sign this contract, has been proven to be demonstrably false. That is not on video. If it was, he would have been cooked a long time ago. But we'll see what happens as the case and the witnesses.
Okay. Nah, Nash, he ain't talking about you. Well, this is the video that he played yesterday, that he recorded. Pardon me. Roll it.
Surprise, surprise. The internet has no idea what they're talking about when it comes to the Pooh Shiesty case. Case in point, let me show you the first 5 seconds of the press conference from the Department of Justice, which it sounds like they have no idea what they're talking about when they talk about the Pooh Shiesty case.
I'm Ryan Rabel. I'm the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas. Thank you for coming. This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday.
He just said this week, 9 individuals, including well-known music artists, kidnapped. This happened back on January 10th. Why is the internet wrong? Well, people who are saying that there's this guy on video pulling a gun on Gucci, if the feds have you on video pulling a gun on Gucci while you're on home confinement, not allowed to have a gun on January 10th, you get arrested January 11th, maybe January 12th. By February, you're cooked. By March, you're already violated and doing your time. This is April. Now, one thing to note, I think the fact that we're in April and this came out today is telling, because Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, was fired today, and we need to turn the page quickly. But I think this case seems, we'll see. I think obviously the feds have charged kidnapping, and the reason why you charge kidnapping is because it's not larceny. The guy didn't rob the recording deal rights. You're never going to prove to a jury that Pooh Shiesty had a premeditated plan to fly out to Dallas and then he's going to pull a gun on Gucci and get Gucci to sign away the contract rights. That's ridiculous. Okay? There was a lot of people in the room. Apparently, there was some violence in that room because the most injuries that we've heard of is some guy got choked and there was some abrasions on his neck. Okay, so something happened. But then beyond that, the feds haven't really put anything. Chill out, bro. There's so many ways to defend a case like this. One of the things that I'd be looking out for is what everybody has to say, because if there's no video footage of what happened in the room and there's 6 people in a room, then it's going to be very interesting to see what the 6 people in the room have to say.
So y'all know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the hood lawyer and dare any lawyer to say that I'm wrong with this and use court lingo, court jargon, and all this shit because y'all watch me as well. Let's get on with this shit. This is the reason why they use 1201A and 1201C. Firearm robbery sentences vary significantly based on the specific statute violated and whether a firearm was used. On average, individuals convicted of a federal robbery with a firearm enhancement receive a sentence of 162 months, 13.5 years in recent years. Statutory maximums and mandatory minimums. The statutory limits are the primary framework for sentencing. So if we got bank robbery, we're going to knock that out and say no. Hobbs Act robbery covers robberies affecting interstate commerce, retail stores. We're not doing that one. But firearm enhancement. Using a firearm during a crime of violence triggers a mandatory or the mandatory minimums that must be served consecutively. That's on top of the robbery sentence. 5 years for possession or carrying, and then 7 years for brandishing or displaying pointing a weapon. Right there alone, that's 13 years. He didn't discharge anything, and the 25 years for a second or a subsequent conviction. We ain't even needing all that. So sentencing guideline factors, the judge uses the sentencing guidelines to determine the actual range based on a point system. So the base offense level for robbery starts at 20. But we'll leave that for the details for the lawyers to bang out. But I wanted to point that out before we go any further. Get paid real quick. That's $5 right there. That QR code, or tap that link in the description. All you got to do is sit up here and play free cash. You feel me? Simple. Number 2 on the Apple Store, number 3 in the Google Play Store for a reason. It's the app that's giving y'all the games and gonna pay y'all to play. Y'all gotta, watch some commercials and all that shit. They want to sell y'all stuff, but here's how we entice you. We gonna pay y'all to play games. Maybe you spend the money on what the advertisers do. Maybe you don't. Who knows? But hey, free cash, Setty Nash. Hit that QR code or tap that link in the description. $5 in your account as soon as you put on that. And let's get you paid to play. Nash, cash. Get up to $500 too. Let's get on with the content. Y'all know I don't disappoint with this, right? Cool. Let me start doing what I do. Let me give you a proverbial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The reason they went for that was simple, because they didn't charge them for what they should have charged them with. And that's why the second superseding indictment is going to be crazy. Roll it. So I want to go to this right here. 18 U.S.C. 1201A and C. Kidnapping and conspiracy to commit kidnapping. And this is going to be important because I want y'all to look at the sentencing that comes with that. Federal armed robbery sentences vary significantly based on the specific statute violated and whether a firearm was used. On average, individuals convicted of a federal robbery with a firearm enhancement receive a sentence of 162 months, 13.5 years in recent years. Statutory maximums and mandatory minimums. The statutory limits are the primary framework for sentencing. So if we got bank robbery, we're going to knock that out and say no. Hobbs Act robbery covers robberies affecting interstate commerce, retail stores. We're not doing that one. But firearm enhancement. Using a firearm during a crime of violence triggers a mandatory or the mandatory minimums that must be served consecutively. That's on top of the robbery sentence. 5 years for possession or carrying, and then 7 years for brandishing or displaying pointing a weapon. Right there alone, that's 13 years. He didn't discharge anything. And the 25 years for a second or a subsequent conviction. We ain't even needing all that. So sentencing guideline factors, the judge uses the sentencing guidelines to determine the actual range based on a point system. So the base offense level for robbery starts at 20. But we'll leave that for the details for the lawyers to bang out. But I wanted to point that out before we go any further. The hard part that the feds just fought themselves on is they said once Big 30 stood there by the door, that was the abduction part. The abduction part wasn't the firearm being pointed at no damn Pooh Shiesty. No damn Gucci Mane. That was forced to sign over. Why are there no robbery charges? That's armed robbery, firearm robbery. Because that means that Pooh Shiesty possibly can get 10 years. Oh. Nash, you're right. You're not getting no life sentence unless somebody got killed. Nobody got killed. So expect the second superseding indictment to include armed robbery, to include the commerce, travel of firearms, the trafficking of firearms and all that shit, because that's what they found at the father's house. The second superseding indictment is going to add more charges and possibly 2 more people. But right now, that's what they doing. They trying to screw these cats over. Hey, lawyer for workers, tell the people that you can't, because this ain't injury law. Sorry, you in my realm, bro. No, Setty Nash ain't a practicing attorney or none of this shit. But I got a whole lot of them too. And what do? We created a coterie of lawyers. And I get to sit at the table. Don't ever diss me again, bro. Because if I take it there with you, we can debate it out and you ain't gonna win nothing. The feds did this so that they can make sure to stick in that life sentence. And even you'd agree That's why the feds put the stalking charge on Lil Durk, because they know Lil Durk is going to beat the murder for hire. So how does that work for you to say Lil Durk is going to do this and do that? But you agree with all my points about Lil Durk. It's kind of funny, huh? The tree that feeds you is now the tree you want to cut down. Y'all piss me off with this. You guys can't be lawyers because you on the internet. Yes, the hell we can. The only difference between you and me is you went to college for this shit and I ain't had to. So no, I refuse this BS, bro. The feds did this shit to try to scare Pooh Shiesty into signing something real early. Pooh gotta fight this. He gonna have to. His lawyers gotta fight this because, bro, you looking at 20 years. With the armed robbery and all that shit, that's way reduced. So now we gonna look at felon in possession of a firearm. We're gonna look at armed robbery and all of these things. That's what that is. So expect, once again, the second superseding indictment to be insane with new charges and possibly 2 more people. And the whole thing about why didn't they bring in the charges the day of? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know why they didn't do that. Because the moment Pooh Shiesty would have disappeared into cuffs and his daddy and Big 30 would have went into cuffs, they would still be looking for these guys. They didn't have to rush this because by the time that they sat up there and said, we're going to execute this, they was watching everybody and they already took everybody down. The 9th guy got caught in Atlanta. I guess he tried to finish off Pooh. I'm kidding. I was about to say, try to finish off Gucci Mane, try to slime him out. I am joking, of course, but no, bro. You know good and damn why. They had to still build the case. They had to build the damn commerce part of this shit. Now you just lying to these people. How fast you thought they was going to get the Greyhound stuff? So how did they know? How fast did you think AT&T was going to sit up here or Verizon or whomever was going to sit up here and give them these files? You got to get all this shit signed off. You had to build the case. You had to present all this shit. And you got to bring it to a grand jury. Are you out your damn mind? Lawyer for Workers is lying to you guys. Mo Gannat, that's his name. I forgot about it. I thought about it now. Mo, you a damn liar, and you a pander bear. You are one of the biggest pander bears. You should have told the people the truth about Tory Lanez. You didn't. You should have told the people the truth about Diddy. You didn't. You've been more wrong than anything. Your claim to fame was just basically being there for 6ix9ine. So with all due disrespect, bruh, I ain't hearing shit you said because you're a pander bear. You won't tell the truth to the people because you give a damn about what they think when they should think about what you said. You worried about them. Subscribe, turn on that bell, stay notified, and share to keep your people aware. The only hood lawyer, Seti Nash, bruh. And shout out to AK-47. Y'all just, yeah, y'all just got to understand how petty I am. Sorry. Not sorry. I don't give a damn. Y'all mad at me for what I said about AK-47, but understand it. He said it. Yeah, he came back and cleared me. Shout out to that. He dropped certain shit I was never going to drop. There were certain things I wasn't going to put out there. I couldn't. It is what it is. So he can get his credit right there. But I didn't have to put his ass in the goddamn video for y'all to go check it out and then go see all that shit. You're welcome, by the way. I ain't had to do that at all. That's your shout out, bitch. Click right here, though, to see the full paperwork of Pooh Shiesty versus Gucci Mane, the gory details. Click right here to see about that, or click right here for the playlist, and I'll catch you on the next one.